Hi everyone, and welcome to Human Design 101. I'm Paula Fehrmann, your host, qualified life trust coach and human design fanatic. I guide my clients to become their own experts by understanding and, more importantly, living their design. When I first came to human design, I was so overwhelmed by the triangles, squares, arrows, and numbers in the chart that I didn't touch it for more than a year. However, my human design experiment has been the most important transformation in my life, which is why I want to show you how you can use your design as a simple tool to heal, transform, integrate, grow, and ultimately become your own expert. No more looking for the experts outside of you. Keep listening and learning here on the podcast, reach out for private coaching, or book a chart reading with me. Let's talk Human Design 101. Hi everybody, and welcome back to Human Design 101. First of all, if you're watching this on YouTube, I apologize for the video quality. I left my tripod in Portugal and we are filming with the laptop today since I'm in Germany. Also, it's the 31st of July, and if you're watching the video, I'm wearing my cozy mohair sweater. Germany is unlocking new low temperatures in the midst of summer, but I do not mind because I am about to move to Lisbon and I know that I'm going to have a few more warm months. Anyway, today we are speaking about something that is really dear to my heart and super important for me, for you, for all my clients, my friends, and I would go as far as saying for everybody in this world. And I'm kind of guiding you towards the topic by asking you a few questions. Like, have you ever tried to use your human design or any other thing in the world, any other tool, any conversation, the Enneagram, a personality test, whatever it is, your body type, your chronotype, whatever it is, have you ever used or tried to use these things to explain why you feel stuck, lonely, or unworthy? Maybe you have even asked yourself or your coach, like my clients ask me, does my design show signs of low self-esteem? Is there anything in my design that explains why I just can't get this right? And I see this a lot, and it's such an important question because the way we use human design matters. And so in today's episode, we are going to speak about why human design might be slowing you down in your journey, how to use it, in my opinion, correctly, and when to pivot from it and when to let it go. I'm going to give you handfest. That was a German word. I'm going to give you solid examples of when and how to lean in. And I'm going to walk you through how to let it go when you're feeling overwhelmed or stuck. And as always, let's dive right in. So the problem is when we're approaching human design from a perspective of being a victim, when we are wanting to reject responsibility and when we're looking to confirm our pain. So if we're coming to human design and we're thinking, oh, I feel so alien in this world, I feel so lost, I feel so unworthy, and this is because I have got an undefined G center, I have got an undefined will center, because I'm a reflector, because I'm a projector, I can't be a nice person because I've got the channel of judgment, so I'm allowed to be a butthole in conversation and judge people front, left, and center. Or I can't be with people because I've got an undefined solar plexus and it's all too much for me. And HD then becomes a permission slip to feel bad rather than a permission slip to empowering and expanding. So from here, we can go right into when not to use HD, what to look out for in human design. When you're trying to make something your identity that is in your human design, that is a momentarily experience, a quote unquote bad feeling, when you're trying to make this part of your identity by justifying it with your human design, you are what I would call on the wrong path. This is not a problem. This is just showing you where you don't want to be. It's giving you the contrast experience of what feels really shitty in your system, and from that shittiness creates more shittiness in your world, to how it could be if you switched your perspective. So when you are holding out for or holding off from an opportunity and you're saying, I can't do this because it wasn't an invitation, I'm a projector, or I will always feel this way because of my chart, or I can't test this out because I haven't weighted my emotional wave. I can't make this decision. I can't order spontaneously in a restaurant because I've got emotional authority. I can't sustain a whole day's of work because I'm a projector and I don't have a sacral, and so on and so forth. When you are making these truth statements in the now that limit you, I can guarantee you that you are abusing human design. It was never meant for you to feel small. Human design has always been an experiment for you to get into flow with life, to come to a frequency in which you are loving and accepting yourself, in which you're understanding that you have everything and more that it takes for you to live a life of fulfillment, abundance, joy, gratitude, and connection. But it starts with you, and you're the person who has to take responsibility for that. And so if you're finding if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, holy moly, this is what I've been doing, I want to pour my heart out to you and overload you with compassion, because we have all been there. I have been there. I guide my clients out of this, and this is when human design readings really become coaching, because we're looking at the deeper structure of what is really going on underneath. We're not just looking at the design, we're looking at, why am I feeling this way or thinking this way, and how can we change it? But I'm pouring my heart out to you because this is normal. This can happen. And I'm so grateful for you that you're listening to this right now, because this is going to give you everything you need to be able to switch into this empowered, responsible, believing state. So your brain is looking for certainty. Your brain is looking to find excuses as to why you're feeling the way you're feeling. I feel lonely. I feel unworthy. I feel this, and that. And there's a part within you that is looking to feel validated, that is looking to feel hugged, understood, that is looking to feel like it's okay to feel that way. And when we're approaching it from a way of trying to find the reasons as to why it's okay to feel that way, we're already on the wrong path, because of course it's okay to feel that way. We're human. We are going to experience these kinds of feelings, but our responsibility as the adult in this scenario, because the part of us that is feeling this way is our inner child, and the part that can help us is our adult. And so when our inner child is feeling this way, we're not walking through the world and saying, oh yeah, little Paula, you really should be feeling this way because look at all these past experiences. You've always done shitty and you always will. Or, oh, understandably that you feel lonely. Look, you don't really have any friends. And it's in your design. You're not meant to have friends. You're here to be alone. Would that help? No, of course not. So we're not trying to look for reasons. What this part really needs is presence. Presence with the feelings, presence with the thoughts and emotions, and then guidance forward. And so before I tell you how to approach these situations, what to exactly do when you feel low, when you feel lonely, when you feel like, why is this happening? I am quickly going to share what not to do. Because I feel like, and I've seen it, I've seen us all misunderstanding this kind of self-work, inner work. So I'm going to walk you through the process in a moment, but looking after your inner child does not mean that you have to cancel everything in your day and put everything on pause. This is an anxiety freeze pattern in which you are totally submitting to all of the stress. Effectively, you're communicating to your system, I can't handle this. I need a break from life. And this is all too much. And sometimes that's just what we got to do. Everything I share in here got to be taken with a grain of salt. But sometimes this is just what we got to do. But if this is your pattern, if you feel difficult emotions and then you think, I can't commit to my business in the way I used to. I have to cancel all my appointments. I really need to take now 7 hours of rest and I can't participate in real life anymore. You are self-sabotaging because you can. You really can. There's some simple steps that will help you to walk through these situations and then gently move back into your day. So let's walk you through the example. Let's assume you're at work and you feel overwhelmed. Your boss has told you something that you really didn't like and you feel, maybe you're a projector, now you're feeling bitter, you feel unseen, you feel not appreciated, and you feel exhausted. You're thinking, I'm really in the wrong spot. I'm not meant to work a 9 to 5. My human design doesn't say I'm meant to work a 9 to 5. I'm not recognized. Maybe I wasn't even invited into this job. This is all wrong and it needs to change now. So what can you do? First of all, watch these thoughts. So the first most important step is that we are recognizing the problem, that we can feel it and identify it. So you will want to maybe go to the bathroom or to a space where you have just a moment for yourself and you will want to step into your inner adult or the inner Dalai Lama or Mother Teresa or the inner baby tiger with a soft, gently whispering voice that says, come here to me. Just tell me, what is going on? How do you really feel? Yeah, you hate this, right? You're feeling really overwhelmed. You're feeling lonely. You're feeling unseen. This is what's going on, right? And you allow yourself to name it and pour it all out. You allow yourself to do that despite the fear that giving into this might amplify it. You allow yourself to say it despite the fear that giving it attention might blow it up. You allow yourself to feel it, knowing that there are 2 parts here right now, even 3. You're an adult, you're in a child, and universe, universal love, grace holding you through this and celebrating, and for me celebrating you for doing this right now. And then you give yourself a moment to feel the discomfort, to maybe shed a tear, to maybe really push against the wall if you're feeling angry and you're feeling like you need to mobilize and move some energy. Maybe you want to hug yourself and give yourself a little rocking motion from side to side, squeeze your arms, whatever it is that you need. And if you don't know what it is that you need, you communicate that and you're like, this is so overwhelming, I don't even know what to do. Whilst you're doing that, you're focusing on where you're feeling this. I feel tightness in my body, my jaw feels tight, my shoulders feel heavy. Oh, I feel like I can't breathe. Maybe I want to take a deep breath. Maybe I want to move. This is the somatic part of it. So you're allowing the feeling, you're naming it, you're making a move, you're giving yourself what you need. And then we go back into the inner adult. We check in with ourselves. We replace identity statements as in, I'm not invited here because I'm a projector. I shouldn't be working here with. This feels overwhelming right now. This was really challenging for me right now. This is really testing me right now. But I know that I'm already making a change by checking in with me right now. I know that there are spaces in the world where I'm recognized and seen. I know that I've got myself. Because our usual fear is that these feelings will persist forever. And if we understand and recognize that we've worked through them before, we trust that we will again. And from there, what you're going to do is you're going to gently distract yourself. It's not numbing and scrolling on your phone for hours. It's not diving headfirst into the next big project and proving that you're really worthy. It is not a super intense workout. It is whatever you need to gently move back into your day. So I'm going to name these parts again. You're going to identify the feelings first. You're going to allow them, you're giving permission to feel. There's a somatic part where you're really feeling it in the body and you're moving with it or from it. There's a gentle self-talk part in which your inner adult is helping you identify identity statements and bringing them back into the present moment, untangling these ultimate statements to what they really are, the momentary perception and experience that you're having right now. And then the fifth step is to gently move forward and distract yourself. And from here, I would like to end with, well, what is it then? How can we use human design if we're not using it in these victimized ways in which we're trying to explain away our discomfort or explain away why we don't really have to do anything differently? And the way that I like to use human design and I guide my clients with. First of all, human design, probably one of my favorite things to look at when I look at a human design chart is environment and digestion. How are you meant to digest life? How are you meant, or where are you meant to be? What's your perfect environment? This can give us like the biggest permission slip. This was one of the biggest permission slips for me to understand that I thrive in urban environments. And there are lots of people in the spiritual community who speak about being in nature. And I love being in nature, but I need the city. I need markets. I need places where value gets exchanged. And if I don't have that, I feel it is rather challenging for me to keep up my vibe. I know that now, so that I know that when I'm out of the city for longer times, I know what to expect and what to do. I know that I might need to work a little harder to be where I want to be. And I'm using it in an empowering way, is to shape my life, use the contrast of what I want and what I don't want to guide me towards where I want to be. You want to use human design as a compassionate framework, a map that shows you your potential, that shows you compassion towards yourself and towards others. One of my favorite ways to use human design is to look at a individual chart or relationship chart and understand, okay, well, this is what we're working with here. Likely this is where we have flexibility. Likely this is where the other person isn't so flexible. And how can we use this to love them for who they are, to love us for who we are, right? And another great way to use human design is to give us words for something that we couldn't express before. Best example for me here always is the defined and undefined G center or the solar plexus. That sensitivity, that feeling of sometimes I used to say a little bit lost with the undefined G center, but I want to veer away from this language because that's not really it. There's more flexibility in your path forward, and that flexibility can feel a little bit like analysis paralysis. When you have 1,000 amazing options, it can feel difficult to choose sometimes, but that doesn't mean that you're unsupported or disconnected on any of these paths. So human design gives us language to understand why we might be feeling the way we feel. And if we then use it to responsibly be with that experience and responsibly move forwards with that experience, we are on the right track. Another great way for us to use human design is to build new habits that support who we are. If you're emotional, you want to build a habit of patience and taking time and pleasurizing taking time, making it a beautiful journey for you to wait on making decisions. If you are a sacral being, you want to make a habit of body-based wisdom, of checking in with that bubbly feeling within yourself. If you are a really open being, you want to create a habit of having your quote-unquote energy routine, of emptying out. There's so many empowering ways to use design, and I am daring you now to lean into that, to keep yourself in check when you're using human design to spiral into negative self-talk, or when you're using human design to avoid things, or to justify isolation, or to obsess over minor details that don't really make a difference for how you're showing up. And this is my need motivation speaking. Like, when I'm caught up in the details, I know that I'm not necessarily in the right place. I want to use a system to look at what do we need right now to move to where we want to be? What is the one thing, the essential thing for mastery, for growth, for expansion that we can focus on? And so thank you so much for listening today, for coming on this little journey with me. I trust that this was super helpful for you. I trust that this reminded you of your strength, of your growth, that it reminded you that all these micro moments in your day where you were showing up as the responsible, strong, adult person that you are, makes a difference. They don't go unnoticed. They are here to bring you to where you need to be. And I want you to take a moment to acknowledge that. And then thank you so much for being here up until next week, and bye-bye. Thank you so much for being here today and listening along to Human Design 101 with me, your host, Paula Fehrmann. I trust that you received exactly what you needed from today's episode, and I love how the universe matched us today. If you enjoy listening and learning with me, please leave a review wherever you are listening to this podcast so that more people can unlock their true selves and ultimately become who they were meant to be using human design. Until next time, lots of love and bye-bye.